$12 trillion. That's what we can see. What we can't see is the question no one wants answered. 3,028 billionaires. $16 trillion. That's the visible layer. The layer regulators can measure, the layer that leaked. But what didn't leak? What exists in the gaps between jurisdictions, in anonymous crypto wallets, in private company books, never audited, in real estate, owned by shells, owned by trusts, owned by no one we can name. The government sees every dollar you earn, every transaction, every account. For billionaires, they see a fraction, 3.4% effective tax rate. Not because of what's declared, because of what remains invisible. 80 offshore jurisdictions. $12 trillion in hidden wealth. That is 12% of everything on Earth. And it belongs to 0.01% of people. A shell company in the British Virgin Islands owns a trust in Panama, which controls a foundation in Liechtenstein, which holds assets in Singapore. The beneficial owner: unknowable, untraceable, legal. The Panama Papers exposed 215,000 offshore entities, politicians, oligarchs, billionaires, not criminals evading tax, elites avoiding it. Legally, a family office is a private wealth management firm for one billionaire family. They manage $5 trillion globally. No public disclosure, no oversight, total control. A family office coordinates investments across 10, 15, 20 jurisdictions simultaneously. Trusts in one country, foundations in another, holding companies in a third. The structure is not complex by accident. Complexity is the defense. If you cannot map it, you cannot tax it. If you cannot see it, you cannot regulate it. Shadow banking. $63 trillion. 78% of global GDP operating in darkness. Outside banking regulation, outside visibility. Hedge funds, private credit structures you cannot invest in, cannot see, cannot audit. It doubled since the financial crisis, but current size, unknown. These entities don't report publicly. Growth is measured in gaps and estimates. The real number could be higher, much higher. The art market is worth $65 billion annually. Fewer than 10% of transactions verify who the buyer actually is. Art sits in free ports, technically in transit, outside tax jurisdiction. Owner, unknown. Forever. Yachts, London mansions, Dubai towers, purchased through shell companies. True owner, unknown. And here's the key. These physical assets are not included in the 12 trillion offshore estimate. That only counts financial assets. The real estate, the yachts, the watches, not measured, not counted, invisible. But 12 trillion is only what we can measure. What about crypto wallets, with no names attached? Real estate, in Dubai and London, owned by shell companies, owned by trusts we cannot pierce. Private businesses, valued at whatever the owner claims. The estimates vary by 4 times. 7 trillion, 32 trillion. No one actually knows. Citizenship by investment. Pay $200,000 to $3 million. Get a passport. Sometimes 8 passports. Some disclosed, some not. Sovereignty as a commodity. Identity as strategy. They do not live in countries, they live in tax strategies. Monaco for zero tax, Singapore for business. US passport for access. Optimized, legal, invisible. 68% of billionaire charitable giving goes to private foundations or donor-advised funds, not to working charities. They get the tax deduction immediately. The charity gets the money when they decide, if ever. And those foundations fund think tanks, policy institutes, university departments, shaping what can be publicly debated. Stealth politics, hidden power. 150 billionaire families spent $1.9 billion on the 2024 US elections. 1 out of every $13. From 0.005% of Americans. Since 2000, their share of election spending increased 140-fold. far outpacing everyone else. Capital buying democracy. Most of this is legal, not evasion, avoidance, aggressive, but lawful. Exploiting mismatches between jurisdictions, using rules written by those they benefit. They hire the best lawyers, the smartest accountants, the most connected lobbyists, to stay on the legal side, while the system bends toward them. Governments lose 190 to 255 billion in annual tax revenue to offshore wealth alone. That funds nothing, educates no one, builds no roads, and inequality compounds. Those avoiding taxes accumulate faster. Those paying taxes accumulate slower. Over decades, the gap becomes civilizational. Shadow banking holds 63 trillion. When it fails, it does not fail quietly. Pensions crash, markets freeze. Taxpayers bail it out. Privatized gains, socialized losses. Reforms exist. Common reporting standard, beneficial ownership registries. Pandora Papers, investigations. But the system adapts faster than regulation. New vehicles replace old ones. Crypto, private credit, complexity as defense. The hidden economy of the ultra-rich is not one thing. It is a web. Offshore havens, family offices, shadow banks, luxury assets, golden passports, philanthropy, political power, each node legal, each connection deliberate. But this is only the visible layer, the layer that leaked, the crypto wallets with no names, the real estate owned by shells we cannot pierce, the private companies valued in darkness, the cross-border structures spanning 20 jurisdictions deliberately designed to be unmappable. How much is really hidden? 12 trillion, 30 trillion more. No one knows, and that's the point. What we can see, 12 trillion in offshore tax havens, 63 trillion in shadow banking, 5 trillion in family offices. What we cannot see, the gaps, the unmeasured, the deliberately complex. The question is not just who wrote the laws that make this legal. The question is what else exists in the darkness we haven't found yet. Subscribe to Power Protocol, because some questions matter more than their answers.